The steering wheel is a very interesting device in a car, and people hold it in all kinds of fashions. It's very interesting to watch when you're driving on the road, the way people do hold their steering wheel. Here, we will recommend that you put two hands on the wheel. Yes, I know for some of you it's going to be difficult, especially those of you who drive with shift levers. You normally have one hand here and one hand on the shift lever. And you're probably going to go, well, what am I going to do about my shift lever? Well, you know what? The last time I checked, the shift levers are bolted in there. They're not going anywhere. So let go of your shift lever and put two hands on the wheel. We'll recommend to hold the wheel at 9 and 3. But I learned 10 and 2. Yep, I learned 10 and 2 as well. Hey, 10 and 2 has been taught for about 40 years. The premise then, much like the premise now, was put your hands on the steering wheel, shoulder height comfortable. At that time, the steering wheels were this big, which made your hands fall at 10 and 2. Today, the steering wheels have shrank a lot. We have not adjusted our teaching techniques to the equipment that is in our cars at the present time. So we'll recommend 9 and 3. Now, 9 and 3, so you put your thumbs on the spokes, on the two spokes that are at 9 and 3, and wrap your hands lightly around the steering wheel. Not too tight. If you hold on too tight, you lose feel for the car. And if the car does go out of control or slide a little bit, it'll take you a little bit of time to feel it, and by the time you feel it, it'll be a little bit too late. The car will have slid too much, and your reaction will be abrupt because you're holding on too tight, and you might create a reaction slide. Now, 9 and 3 is a good idea for other reasons as well. In the last 10-15 years, we've learned a thing or two about human biomechanics, which is a good thing, and we found out that if you have to react to an emergency and your hands are at 9 and 3, you could easily get 180-degree rotation on the steering wheel with your hands at 9 and 3. At 10 and 2, the best you can hope for is 120. So you do the math. 120, 180. It could be the difference between hitting or missing. Two hands on the wheel. Since the airbags, two hands on the wheel has never been such a good idea. Just imagine what would happen if you had your hand across the steering wheel, like is very common like that, and your airbag came off. You knock yourself out with your own arm, and you probably can have Timex printed in your forehead for a long, long time. So think about it. Hands at 9 and 3, two hands on the wheel at all times. It's the best way to go.